but to create a space, opportunity for that person to step into knowing that they're loved unconditionally, and anything they're going through is a temporary situation. And see, what happens is oftentimes people try and build emotion, and you see these sporting events or any big thing that people got to hate. It's my team, it's your team. This is not a good thing, because when you get in that, you think you're doing something. It also can drain your energy system to be so emotionalized and traumatized and fear-ridden and shaking, you see. And that, it's the mind. And if you ever sense you're in a situation like that, that's what you know you've got to get out of it. You've got to move away from it. And we can have that with loved ones and people, but you say, well, how do I deal with it? Because it's almost, when you tend to get in relationship with people, because you become very sensitive to them and what's going on. But the moment you become dependent on them, and you believe that they're there for your source, as your source and supply, you give them the power of God over you. And the divine is your munificent, I think I said it, and divine sweet presence that loves and adores you in all beings, is not working for your demise. And when you have a great state of enthusiasm and a state of being, and you don't let other people knock you off that, or pull your chain, or slime you with all their stuff. And when that's the problem, when you watch a movie or you watch the news or something, and a lot of the news and everything are snuff films, because they're showing people blowing up, dying, all that. That's not what I want to be watching, because you're not the body. And it's also trying to bring fear and nervousness and drama. And some people, they live on that kind of an energy, and then they give it out to everybody else, so it contaminates everybody. So that's the key. You want to stay centered in yourself, in feelings. And the greatest feelings are the ones when you start to experience the paradise, the pleasure of your soul, your beloved soulmate. And that soulmate is with you always, and we all have the same soulmate, and yet we each have our own special relationship. When people say you're not special, everybody's special. And what we tend to think is some people are more special than others, but they're not. And yet some are more expertise in what they do, or more willing to share and express the fullness of their being. And any talents or abilities that anybody else has, you can have too, you see, because you're fully talented, fully able in every single way, in every single aspect of your being. So as we get down to that, know the distinction between your feelings and emotions. Emotions jerk you around. And when you have expectations, you're always going to set yourself up for disappointment. And a lot of people, they live on expectations. Well, I thought you would do this, and I was planning on this, and then you didn't. Well, it's not your fault how they react. And then when other people use those emotions because they have expectations, and many people, their expectations are always already set up that you're going to criticize them or you're going to put them down. So they interpret everything you do and say from a place of being cruel, unsensitive, not caring, but you don't know what's going on because they're interpreting what you're doing or saying or coming from as being that way when maybe it isn't at all, you see. So then their emotions are, and here's the thing, emotions and thinking, analyzing, figuring out, counting, evaluating, getting even, blah, 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 all the stuff, old dialogue, what you're going to say sooner, all of that takes energy to run, and we run on the energy called oxygen. It's the gas that keeps us connected to the body. Because if you stop breathing, you actually leave the body. Because That's the connective force, you see, how there. So, as you are letting yourself get caught up in these emotions and the mind thinking, and like, it takes energy, and that's your oxygen that you're depriving yourself of in the soul. And when we learn how and we practice staying centered in enthusiasm, being able to be aware of what is going on, and if the inner guidance says leave, it's like tune in and realize that a lot of what you're picking up from everyone else. That's why the value of nature, because there's an integrity here, and the value of tuning into that, and the value of breathing and getting the best breath and oxygen that you can. And when you breathe and do some nice, great, deep breathing, breathe here into the self, into the soul, and breathe that in, and use your breath also to clear and clean out old belief systems that you don't want, old thoughts or stuff. Let it go, breathe it out, and you use that breath, but you breathe it into the center of the heart. Instead of letting the mind take your power and the mind take your oxygen, and these negative emotions control your energy all of the time, weakening you and making everyone and everything outside yourself the source of your happiness and your pain and your pleasure and struggle, because it isn't. And when you get that, that's called taking responsibility, except that I don't really care for the word, because it means you have the ability to respond. And where do we get into trouble? Always responding to everybody else. Well, they did this, I'm going to do that. They talked to me that way, I'm going to talk to me. They did it, I'm going to teach them a lesson. Well, I'm going to fillet them. I'm going to get these people who have, like somebody else other than I do, and I'm going to fight them and I'm going to kill them because we don't want them. It's that whole mentality. And I'll tell you, where it starts from? I know people, you're going to go, I don't like that when you say, too bad. Killing animals, torturing animals, eating them. And that goes into the killing and the eating of humans, of this. I mean, it's disgusting, completely disgusting. And you say, well, you're judging me. No, not at all. I had some friends say, because I was talking about being a vegetarian, you're judging us. We're not. No, I'm not. You could do that. I love you. It's not my problem. But I know it works because I know what's worked for me and health of my body. And also I know, for me, that's where it's at. And I like being healthy, and I love feeling good, and I love animals, and I love living entities. I love life itself because we are life, you see. So I'm here to be a cheerleader for life, and you are life. I am your cheerleader. So be cheery, be enthused, effervescent. You see, well, wonder if there's an earthquake. Yeah, I feel the earth move under my feet. Come on. Everything predictive programming, because your power of consciousness is so powerful. It manifests, and when you get groups of people all thinking the same thing, it's like the sun through a magnifying glass. It's going to burn a hole right there because it's all thought. There you go. Be enthused. Have a good time, because be a good time going somewhere to happen. That's who you are.